product team mentor with the Iris team. Over to you now, sir.
Hey, hi everyone. First of all, thank you so much for having me here, Anjana. It's great connecting with an ITK folks again after a long time. So yeah, I mean, brief introduction about myself. Ranjana touched upon a few points. So I graduated from an ITK in 18. I entered in metallurgy branch. Right, changed my branch after 1 year to mechanical. I have no clue why I did that. But after graduating, I went to IIM Ahmedabad as fresher. uh, Graduated from IIM Ahmedabad in 20. I went off campus into Purple. And I figured out by second year that I wanted to be in product domain. I wanted to be a product manager. So I went off campus in a startup, Purple. It was 4 years old then. And 1 year working there, after 1 year working there, the startup, Purple, got acquired by Amazon. I landed in Amazon, worked there for a year now. And now, yeah, I'm working on something of my own in Web3 domain. Let's see how that turns out. Um, so yeah, Ranjana, is there anything specific you want me to talk about?
Yes, so you could cover your journey, how you discovered, how you fell in love with product management, what made you feel that this is the domain for you, how you shifted your journey.
All right. So cool. Let me start from NITK itself. Right. When I got to NITK, I had no clue what I wanted to do. You know, like everyone, I just got in because that was probably the most or safest option for a science graduate to get into. I got in metallurgy. People used to ask me, what does that branch mean? I couldn't answer all people, and I didn't want to keep answering people for years. So I wanted to shift. I moved to mechanical. uh, Over the next year, I tried to get grasp of mechanical, do something in that branch. Probably I went for an internship in IIT Delhi as well. After second year, it was a research internship. uh, I didn't really. I mean, of course, I liked the part because it also included coding. I had some interest in coding for a long time, but I was still distanced from mechanical. I didn't want to pursue anything over there. So by third year, I started uh, getting more into development. Tried a few internships. Later, after third year, I did a couple of internships with very early stage startups, right? And then I got a job offer from CGI in my final year for software development role. But again, I cleared CAT and got into IIM Ahmedabad, so I went in without any experience. Over there, initially, because of the peer pressure and the hype that goes in the college, I was running behind consulting for a couple of months because that was the place to be. Everyone was talking about it. It was so hyped over there, so I gave it a shot for first couple of months or 3 months. Then I realized, that is something that I can't do because one, preparing for itself wasn't fun to me. It wasn't coming naturally to me. And second, uh, I didn't want to. I mean, consulting is a domain where you need to work 14, 16 hours a day, sometimes 6 days a week or so. And I didn't want to spend so much time in something that I figured out that I didn't like or it didn't come naturally to me. So I moved to marketing. Marketing was my next interest. Uh, got an internship in Pidilite in marketing. I liked marketing as a subject, but I didn't want to, or I didn't like basically selling the FMCG products like Fevikwik or uh, soaps, as they say. Right. So I sort of talked to myself for a long time, probably a week or so. I tried to figure out what is the best thing for me to do. That was the initial part of the second year where I was trying to figure out. Realized that during this entire time I always kept starting, kept working on something on my own startup. I wanted to start up for a long time. Realized, that is something that comes natural to me. That is something that I can keep working on every single night for 4 hours, 6 hours a day, and that is something that doesn't really tire me. So then, I just to basically the closest to being a founder was being a product manager in a startup. That is when I realized that, I want to be a product manager, that too in a startup, not in an MNC. I went for an internship with Purple in October of 2019, right, second year. I went for internship, worked there for a month. I liked it. They gave me a full time offer, so I pulled back from the placements from IMA and moved directly to Purple. Worked for a year over there. It was fun. I worked on 4 or 5 multiple products, and being in a startup as a product manager, you get the entire scope of the product. You are leading the entire product, not just one module like you do in MNCs. Like currently in Amazon, I'm just dealing with a couple of modules. I mean, it's good in one way. You might like it if you want structure, if you want, scale to happen. But if you want more control, if you want more scope with you, startup is the thing, right? I love being that. I Then we moved to Amazon once Purple got acquired. Been here for last 1 year or so, and even there, parallelly, I have been trying on my own startups. Currently, I'm working in Web3. Yeah. So yeah, that's more about my journey.
Also, product management is a pretty different field from engineering, which is what we do at NITK.
Mhm.
And but there are a lot of people even within ACM and outside who are really interested in product management based roles. So, what advice would you like to give them, like how to prepare? We do have internship season and all coming next semester. So, what advice would you like to give them?
Got it. So product management is basically a combination of tech as well as business. So you need to have basic business understanding. Tech, definitely you don't need to understand at a coding level, but it's always helpful when you understand tech, at least at a good high level. You understand basic concepts like APIs and how server works and how the interaction works between server client. If you know those details, at least theoretically, uh, it becomes easier to talk to developers, talk to the tech team, because then the respect builds between you and the tech team. Otherwise, if you just dabber anything without much knowledge into tech, it's difficult to gain respect. And as a product manager, it's the respect only that takes you far, because you don't have authority over anyone. You are not managing anyone. You are just managing the product. So it's the responsibility to really get all the teams on board, get the tech team on board, get the business team on board, get the sales team on board, marketing, design, all of them on board with your idea, with your vision that you are looking forward to. And it's all about convincing them, or basically just talking it out. You don't have authority. You can't just go and say anyone that you need to do this. They have to come on board by themselves. So it comes down to respect, how much respect you have built. And that gets built by the knowledge that you have about the users, about the market, about tech as well, right? When you are able to you know talk to anyone in their own language, that is one. And then of course, as you keep growing, your past creates that respect. As and when you create more successful products, the respect keeps growing. So this is what product management entails. Those who are looking forward to, or they want to get into product management, first thing is that you need to understand is whether you want to do it or not, right? Just like I said, in IMA, I was running behind consulting because everyone was running behind consulting. At that point in time, product man was not really the popular field over there. So no one was talking about it. In my batch, there was just 20, 30 people who were serious about PM. Now it's a boom. Now it's something that everyone wants to do. So you need to ask yourself whether it is something that just because everyone is doing is why you want to do, or is it something that comes naturally to you. So what people talk about PM is that you are the owner, you have the control, it's satisfying role because once it succeeds, it's your product. What people don't talk about in PM is inside there's a lot of dirty work going on. You need to talk to so many people. I mean, designing a product is the easiest part because that is something that you alone need to sit and do. But the moment people come in picture, it's very tough ball game altogether. You need to talk to so many different teams, all the stakeholders that are around that product who have some say in it. And there are a lot of documentations, a lot of stress when it comes to that. So if that thing, talking to people, understanding users, or loving users, if you love user, if you love people, if you love talking to people, then probably this is the place where you want to be, because only then you will be able to relate to them, able to find customer problems, pain points, and talk to people to get all of them on board. So you need to really think and talk to yourself whether that comes naturally to you. That is something that you can do every day, or is it just the high level picture that you are the owner of the product, that's why you want to be there, or is it just because good work life balance or good salary that you're looking for? You need to ask yourself those right questions. Otherwise it just becomes like any other role where people are stuck and they want to go out, and yeah, they are not happy. They are, I mean, I have friends who are in PM as well. it Probably it was not suiting them, now they are looking for change. They're not happy anymore. So you need to ask those questions to yourself and go from there. So also, why I love product management is, as I said, I kept working on startups for a long time. So I loved the entire process of coming up with a pain point of the user. Before that, you need to have that understanding of the user. You come up with a pain point that you can solve, and from the idea to building the entire product, I used to love that entire process. Even if you add 10 people, I don't mind. I'll talk to anyone required. I love it. I love talking to people. So that process is something that I love, and that's why I am able to survive happily in PM. If that doesn't come naturally to you, if you don't like the process, if you're just looking at the results and not the process that you like, it might be difficult for you.
That is a very in-depth insight into product management. Also, after studying in NITK, you did your post-graduation. So, for non-tech roles, do you recommend directly going into the workforce, or do you think it's better to first do your higher studies?
Uh, Depends on what your goals are. I mean, even when I went for IIM Ahmedabad or MBA, I didn't know why I'm going there or what is the reason. I just went in. I just read a book by Chetan Bhagat and I was like, okay, I want to do this. So I just went in. I never had a reason for doing an MBA particularly. If you get a role, uh, directly out of an ITK in a non-tech role, just go for it. You'll gain experience. Even if you want to do an MBA, the ideal time is 2 years after getting an experience. So go in the non-tech role, whatever you get. If you're interested, get that experience, explore multiple domains, explore business, explore strategy, explore PM, whatever you can touch upon. In fact, explore tech as well to some extent, right? If you are looking at PM role, don't code, but at least learn about it, how technology works, how it's growing, right? What are the new trends going on? You should have all that in your skill sets. Try to explore as many things, talk to as many people as possible, right? Everyone has their own story. Product management as a domain is still new, so every company, every person has their own approach of doing it. So the more you talk to people, the more you can find your own niche, find your own approach that you want to carry forward. So yeah, if you get a role after college directly in non-tech role, go for it. It's best you can. In fact, I mean, if you ask me, I'll always favor going into a startup, because that gives you the flexibility and opportunities of working cross domain. You can be in a marketing role, but at the same time you can also work as a product manager for a certain product, or you can work in the strategy role as well. It's very flexible in a startup. Go in, have fun, explore as many things as possible. Over next couple of years or so, you'll figure out what is it that you want to do, long term or for your entire life. That's when you can decide whether you want to go for an MBA or for an MS, or just stick to whatever you're doing and switch companies or switch roles. Whatever, you'll figure out over a couple of years what exactly is something that you want to do for life.
So, once you get into product management, what does the growth look like? Like, what are the future roles? What are the higher roles that you can go into within that field?
So there are two directions that you can go in. One is, you can be a product manager. You can keep becoming senior product manager, but still be an IC, individual contributor, wherein you're still leading product. Otherwise, you can also move to management role, wherein you are managing product managers. Mostly what I have observed is, once you become a PM, you want to be a PM, you want to just keep being a PM. Of course, you'll keep becoming senior in the organization, or yeah, in the organization you'll keep becoming senior. You will get more responsibilities initially. Let's say, if I talk about Amazon, I'm working on a couple of modules at the same time. Over a couple of years, or in fact, let's say next year, I'll probably be managing an entire product, right? Over next couple of years, I might be a senior PM. I might have a few PMs under me. They might be handling few modules. I'll be looking at higher from a higher point of view, right? I'm more looking at strategy, more looking at what is the business coming out of it, as compared to just the execution. When you are new, when you are young, you are basically just designing products, designing modules, designing user experiences. As you become senior, you are more into strategic roles. You design strategy, how it's different from the market and all that. So basically you move from execution to strategy as you keep becoming senior. And as you get more senior, you have multiple products under you. In fact, you might have the entire product department under you that you might be working in. But yeah, at that point it becomes more of strategy, more of thinking than execution. And given the kind of domain it is, in future if you want to switch to any other role, all of them would be open for you, because you do pretty much everything as a product manager. You touch upon design as well, you work with marketing guys, you understand marketing to a large extent, you understand business, of course, you understand strategy, you understand tech to some level as well. So of course, apart from tech, unless you are a coder as well, you can move into any other domain later if you want to switch roles. So that is something that PM gives you, because it's so wide scope. There are so many different things that you are dealing with at the same time. So it gives you so much exposure, so much knowledge into new domains. And for example, I am a design. I I like design, designing user experiences. So I talk to designers more. So, if tomorrow I want to get into product design, I can do that, because by my experiences, I'm learning a lot. But mostly, you want to move to any individual domain later, you will still want to be a PM, because it's so much fun, right? There are so many things that you're working with, so many stakeholders. It's a challenging role, but it's very fun and satisfying.
We have a question on our YouTube live chat. An outline of the kind of stuff you do at work as a product manager. Something basic for people who want to know more about the field.
Um, Got it. So it's different for a startup compared to an MNC. In MNC, in Amazon, so currently we are working on a new product. So basically, the process or the daily job is, designing, documenting, or creating those PRDs, wherein you are defining the product entirely. Talk to designers to get those UIs ready, mockups ready. You talk to marketing guy to design the marketing strategies, as to how we are going in the market. It's not live yet, so we haven't reached the analytics part yet, where we analyze as well. But yeah, when the product is new, you are also working on what kind of data you want to capture once it goes live. How are you actually going to make use of it, right? Whether it is useful or not. um, and then you're also always in touch with the senior management to see what are their views, what future they are looking at, or just to give them updates as to what's going on. So if I just track a day, it's mostly meetings. Once the PRD is done and the development is in progress, yeah, of course you're in constant touch with the tech team as well when they are building the product. uh, but yeah, once the PRD is there inside the development, then it's mostly meetings, connecting with marketing, connecting with tech, connecting with design, just to keep all of them on the same page of what's going on. Once the product goes live, then most of your part also goes in the analytics to understand how the users are using it, right? What kind of features are working more as compared to others. You also speak to users to understand how they use it, right? What they like, what they don't like, and based on that, you come up with new features, new enhancements, or remove things if required. But yeah, mostly it's meetings, talking to people, documentation in MNC. When I was in Purple, I used to lead one product entirely at a time. At one point, I was leading two. So over there, I had a very small team. I was the product manager. I had one designer to working alongside me. I had 3 4 developers. I didn't have a tech lead there, so I was basically interacting with each and every individual developer. So there, you need to have that technology as well, at least to a basic extent, where you can talk to the developers logically. So then we used to have daily catch-ups with the developers. They used to come and update me what's going on, if there are any challenges, if I can solve them. I was in constant touch with clients as well. We were building for B2B. So I was in touch with clients almost on a daily or weekly basis. I was in touch with my founders to give them updates of what's going on. So it used to be more hectic, but it used to be more fun because the entire product was under me. I was the owner of it. If anything goes wrong, it's just me. Then once the product is up, then you give the clients demo as to what how it looks like, and then you go live. The moment you go live, the analytics comes into picture where you keep looking at how the product is being used and where you can improve. I hope I could answer that.
Yes, sir. And also, what is the biggest challenge that you face in your field as a product manager?
Good question. One is people. I mean, see, I'm a people person. I love talking to people, but still, I believe wherever there are many people, it becomes very difficult to deal with things. It becomes very difficult to move, and that's why you see when you're in startup, the teams are very small. You grow or you work very fast as compared to an MNC where there are at least 40, 50 different stakeholders who are dependent on this. So it takes a lot of time, and it's also very difficult to get all of them on board because you go and pitch to someone that we are doing this, they'll come up with their own inputs, they'll come up with their own experience, and you keep iterating over, let's say, weeks or months, and after that the thing comes out. So that is the biggest challenge that I feel. Second is, it's not a challenge but something that sometimes people go wrong in, is few people think that as a PM you need to really come out with innovative ideas or unique ideas that no one has ever done. But basically it's just about solving the user's problem. If your user's problem is getting solved by something that competitor is doing, there's no harm in copying that. Just go copy that, maybe make a few modifications just for your context, right, to fit that feature or module in your context. Otherwise it's fine. Basically you are just there to solve people's problem. So that sometimes becomes challenge because as product managers you at least believe that you have great mind that you can work with, and just getting ideas from outside and not thinking something out of your own head can become challenging. But yeah, you need to really uh, make do with that is your role is to solve people's problem. Whatever solves it, you need to do it. If that computer is doing it, you might as well do it, unless you find a better way.
Also, is there any sort of encouragement or advice that you would like to give the students in general in NITK?
Uh, so I just have one advice, right? And it will help you both in your professional life, your personal life. Learning these hard skills, you're learning new softwares, new tools, new technologies, all that is fine, right? It adds to your skill set, which is very good. You should have that. You should have that urge to learn. But what I feel, based on my experience and also from the people that I see and talk to, the most important thing comes down to knowing yourself better, right? I mean, completely, basically. Because wherever you go, let's talk about CAT interview, they will ask you about yourself, and that is one parameter, one key parameter where you are selected or rejected. Uh, so one is you need to know yourself very well and be yourself. So when it comes to knowing yourself very well, you need to know what kind of person you are, right? What are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what is it that you want to do or explore, right? For example, today I told you, right, second year, in the second year I figured out that I wanted to do plot man. I talked to myself a lot. Post that, since the last 3 years, it has been very calm for me. I don't care how much my peers are earning. I don't care how much my juniors are earning. They might be earning more than me. I don't care, but I am in my own zone. I know what direction I am moving in. I have my own ambitions. I know every day I am moving towards it because I know myself very well. So even if you come to me and say that you are in consulting, you are earning 3 times more than me, I don't care because I am pretty happy where I am. I am happy with the work I am doing, and I know that eventually I'll be where I want to be because I know where I want to go. I know, at least I feel I know how to reach there. So every day I keep moving towards that direction. So that is the most important part. Once you understand yourself, everything falls in place. The entire direction is right in front of you. You can, uh, then you are not really looking for external validation. You're not worrying about what people are talking about you or what people are advising you. Of course, listen to as many people as possible, but once you understand yourself what you want from within, it becomes all clear. And also, once it comes from within as to what you want to do, that motivation is so strong that you can keep it for a long time. If someone from outside is motivating me for doing something, it might stay for a week, it might stay for a month or a year, but when it comes from within, it stays for a very long time. In fact, you can endure your entire life with that motivation. That is, I mean, at least that is something that I feel, and it has been the case for me. So once it comes from within, it all of it falls in place. You're very calm, very composed. You're actually happy in the life. You can always become professionally successful in any way possible, but unless you get to know yourself very well, you won't be happy or satisfied with what you're doing. You'll always be looking for new things that make other people happy. Even today, there were so many of my friends from IMA who went into consulting, finance, those overhyped roles. I mean, it's there for reason. I mean, if you love doing it, it's fine. But many of them just went in because others were going in. And once you do that, in a year or within a few months, there have been people who wanted to move out to product management particularly. I'm not even sure if it came from within or it's again just the hype that's going around PM right now. But yeah, you need to understand yourself. Once you know yourself better, everything else will fall in place. You will find that you are moving in the right direction and you're pretty happy with whatever going on. And then it doesn't matter who is earning how much or whatever they are doing in their life. You are just in your zone, of course, learning from outside, learning from people as well, but you know very well what you want to do, and accordingly you are moving on. So that is one advice, and that's the only advice I have to give. If you can crack that, it's best for you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your advice. With this, we will be ending the question and answer session.
Mhm.
And this will be a wrap for today's session. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today, giving your valuable insight both in the field and about a student life in general. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And in case people have more questions they want to ask post this, they can always contact me on LinkedIn. I mean, feel free to contact. I'll be there to respond.
Thank you, sir. We'd also like to thank the audience who joined us today, and we'd like to remind you that we have day two of ACM Alumni Talks. Please do join us tomorrow. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Anil. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tanmay, you stopped, right?